Welcome to the Hunt Hard Outdoors vlog, where today we're going to be comparing the new Ravin R-29 to last year's model, the Ravin R-20. What you see here is both crossbows head to head, and we're going to talk about that. Before we get into that, let's first talk about crossbows in general. There's a lot of controversy about crossbows. Not that they're anything new. Crossbows have been around since medieval times. But crossbows have made a lot of advancements. You're also seeing them a lot more in the field. Guys are using them a lot more. The controversy you have with crossbows is with anything you have. You look at when they put wheels on bows. There's controversy with that. You look at when they put scopes on rifles. There was controversy with that. Now those things are considered standard operating procedure. You more often see guns in the field with scopes and bows in the field that are compounds versus traditional, such as longbows and recurves. I think crossbows are similar. Yes, it's a hot topic now, but with time it's going to be just another tool for hunting and for shooting. Now, my personal thoughts on crossbows, I see pros and cons both. I will have to say, though, that for me, the pros outweigh the cons, partially because I'm an equal opportunity abuser. Now, some of the pros that I see is that crossbows potentially lower the barrier of entry for hunters and guys getting into this, particularly when those states or areas where they are tool specific on the tag. This can potentially get somebody into hunting more easily than a compound or a traditional bow could. As hunters, we are not the majority. We unfortunately are a minority. So any opportunity we have to bring more people to our side, I see as a positive. Another thing with the crossbow that I see as a positive is that crossbows can potentially be more accurate and more consistent with less time invested. Now, I'm not here to say that people cannot be extremely accurate with compounds, with longbows, with recurves. I'm not saying that at all. That is a personal thing. There are guys that are extremely accurate out there. And there are guys that can be not very accurate with rifles and crossbows. It is more of a personal thing. My point is that crossbows have the potential to be more consistently accurate with less time invested than some other options, such as bows. Now I personally love spending a lot of time standing behind the string of my bow. I make the time to do that. Not everybody has that luxury. Not everybody has that time to do that. I'm not here to judge and say who is or is not capable of doing this. One of the pros with that potentially more consistent accuracy is the fact that that could lead to less wounded animals. Does that increase the harvest rates? Potentially. But please keep in mind that harvest rates are just animals that are recovered. We do not track animals that have been shot and never recovered. Now, I am not one to judge. I'll be the first to admit I have had animals that I could not recover. It's not something I'm proud of, but I am a human. And the more time you spend hunting, the more chances are that this can happen to you. The last positive I see to the crossbow is, in my opinion, this provides more opportunity. For me personally, there was a lot of days when the weather's been nasty and cold, when it's been wet and windy, when I did not feel like climbing in a tree. I got into a blind, either a ground blind or an elevated blind. Crossbow gave me the opportunity to be in there and be more comfortable. Now, can a bow be shot out of those? Yes, they can. But when you start looking at some of your blinds, many of them have horizontal windows. I personally feel that crossbows are easier to use in blinds with horizontal windows. Let's talk about these Ravin crossbows. You are going to see a lot of similarities, particularly in the ballistics. Where you're going to see some great differences is in the size and the weight. And we're going to talk about that today. What you've got, this is last year's model, the R-20. I'm going to stand it up right here. And then this is this year's model, the R-29. As you can see, this is literally brand new. I'm going to stand it up here. Now what I want to point out is when you are looking at this, you see a lot of similarities. Limbs, width, length. The rail, actually this is a railless system, but the travel of the bolt, very similar. And then the action, very similar. I'm going to turn them sideways so you can see that view. You can see exactly what I'm talking about here. The placement of the action and the travel of the bolt, very similar. Matter of fact, potentially the exact same design. The difference you see is with the stock itself, the overall length of the crossbow. Basically what you've got here is similar to a bullpup design in this. For those of you not familiar with the bullpup is traditionally used in guns where they take the action of the gun and it is brought back into the stock of the gun, which is what they've done here. You can see your firing mechanism is up here, i.e. your trigger. You can see the trigger is up here, but the action is all back here. This is what is actually going to fire the bolt. Well, the string is going to fire the bolt, and this is what is going to activate the string to fire the bolt. Now what that has done is you can see this has allowed for this to be a much more compact unit. It's very comfortable, it's very light, it's very easy to maneuver, especially when you are in tight spaces such as a blind, or if you are hunting with others in a ground blind or an elevated blind. Even in a tree, if you have limbs and other things around you, this is easy to maneuver compared to the model last year, which is a larger model. You can see that this is bigger. I've got more stuff up here. I've got a lot more up here. This puts a lot of weight up on the front. Means it does take a little more to support that and to balance that. So that is one of the pros of this, is the compactness and the feel. How tight that is, how well that feels in the hands. One of the downsides I see is with the action being in the stock, the safety is with the action. Now why that is a problem, in my opinion, is that to take this off of safety, you're going to have to remove your hand from the grip, come back, deactivate the safety, and then return back. Now, if you have a target acquired, that is extra movement, and potentially, right there, perfect example. I was not able to do that without looking because of all the movement that is required. I would have to look down, make sure I am activated. Now, with practice, that could easily be done safely by moving back here and finding that. But then you have to move back. I personally do not like that. I do not like the idea of having to come off. When I am secured and ready to make a shot acquisition, the last thing I want to do is have to remove, deactivate the safety, and then have to reset everything. Can it be done? Yes. Can it be done safely? Yes, I believe so. In my personal opinion, I just don't like that. You will see with last year's model, the safety can be deactivated without ever having to remove your hand from the grip. You can quickly do this with feel, never looking, and reset, and never have to make any movement or any shift of your hand. One of the other major differences you're going to see between the new R-29 and the R-20 is the front grip. This one has a sloped grip that has a little pitch to it. I personally like pistol grip stocks. I like thumb hole stocks. I like to be able to get my hand in more of a vertical grip than a horizontal grip. Same with the front stock. I like a vertical feel versus more of a horizontal feel. I think that allows me to be more in a natural position. This is my personal opinion, but I do like that. You'll see on the R20 model, it strictly has a horizontal front grip. Now, is this undoable? Absolutely not. This has been very effective for me. I've enjoyed this very much. Now, if I really was that upset about it, it does have a Picatinny rail here. I could potentially mount an aftermarket vertical grip. I don't feel the need for that. I do make this work. I am perfectly fine with this. I just like that design a little bit better. So, those are the major differences between the two crossbows. With that being said, I enjoy both of these models. I see pros and cons to both the R20 and the R-29. I would recommend either one of these to anybody. The Ravin crossbows are phenomenal units. My final opinion, the R20, R-29, I think it comes down to personal preference and personal feel. You can find out more information about these and about Hunt Hard Outdoors on our website, www.hunthardoutdoors.com. And with that, I thank you for your time. Please leave comments, questions, or reviews. Again, I am Brett Thorne, reminding you to hunt hard or just stay in bed.